Today we are diving into the worst lawn tractors ever created. From bizarre designs to questionable engineering choices, these machines will make you wonder what their designers were thinking. And stick around until the end, because the last tractor on our list changed the entire industry in a way nobody expected. The post-war era brought us some interesting innovations, and the Fairbanks Morse riding mower certainly tops that list. Looking more like a mechanical horse than a lawnmower, this peculiar machine featured a seat positioned so high that operators practically needed a ladder to mount it. The engine sat behind the operator, creating an unusual weight distribution that made the entire machine prone to tipping on even the slightest incline. What made this mower truly unique was its steering system. Instead of a conventional wheel, it used a tiller-style handlebar that required operators to lean forward awkwardly while mowing. The cutting deck was mounted on the front, but due to the high seating position, operators often couldn't see what they were cutting. The company marketed this as a superior vantage point, though most users probably disagreed. And let's talk about its massive 8 horsepower engine, way more power than necessary for a lawnmower of that size. This oversized power plant made the machine incredibly loud and caused excessive vibration. To make matters worse, the mower had no shock absorption system, meaning operators felt every bump and divot in their yards. Despite these quirks, Fairbanks Morse proudly advertised it as the future of lawn care. The home-like garden tractor took a different approach to lawn maintenance, and by different, I mean absolutely bizarre. This tractor looked like something straight out of a 1950s science fiction movie, complete with chrome accents and jet-age styling that had absolutely nothing to do with its functionality. The most striking feature was its hood design, which resembled the front end of a miniature Cadillac. While this might have looked impressive parked in your garage, it created significant problems with engine cooling. The sleek design trapped heat so effectively that owners often had to mow with the hood open, completely defeating the purpose of its stylish appearance. The tractor's control panel was equally perplexing, featuring aircraft-style toggle switches and a speedometer that went up to 60 miles per hour, despite the machine barely reaching 5 miles per hour at full throttle. The chrome trim would blind operators on sunny days as sunlight reflected off the numerous shiny surfaces. Perhaps the most impractical feature was its fuel tank location, directly under the seat with no proper ventilation, leading to some rather uncomfortable mowing sessions on hot summer days. When Snapper unveiled their Snappin' Turtle in 1951, people weren't sure whether to laugh or applaud. The machine earned its nickname from its incredibly low-slung profile. It literally looked like a mechanical turtle crawling across lawns. The design team took the turtle theme perhaps a bit too seriously, painting most models in forest green and even adding shell-like patterns to the hood. The tractor's most distinctive feature was its ultra-low center of gravity. While this made it nearly impossible to tip over, it also meant the operator sat mere inches off the ground. Imagine mowing your lawn while essentially sitting at ankle height. The low-riding design created another unexpected problem. The exhaust system was positioned at the same height as most garden chairs, leading to some unfortunate melted furniture incidents during neighborhood barbecues. The Snappin' Turtle's engine placement was particularly unusual. Unlike most tractors that house their engines under the hood, this model proudly displayed its power plant right next to the operator's leg. While this made maintenance easier, it also meant drivers would finish their mowing sessions with one pant leg significantly warmer than the other. The roof manufacturing company of Pontiac, Illinois, decided that if they were going to build a lawn tractor, it should look exactly like a miniature military jeep. The Palomino wasn't just named after a horse. It was designed to convince everyone in the neighborhood that you were patrolling your lawn rather than mowing it. Complete with a front grille that mimicked military vehicles, non-functional side steps, and even a tiny windshield that served absolutely no purpose, the Palomino was more about style than substance. The headlights, while impressive looking, were so dimly powered that they were practically useless, though this didn't stop owners from conducting dawn patrol mowing missions. The most puzzling feature was its military-style instrument panel, complete with gauges that monitored things no lawn tractor needed to monitor. There was even an altimeter, apparently for those crucial moments when you need to know your elevation while trimming the grass. The gear shift lever was designed to look like something from a Sherman tank, but it only controlled 3 forward speeds, all of which were remarkably slow. The Gardenal SJR stands as a testament to what happens when engineers get too creative with their coffee breaks. The most notable feature was its impossibly high-arched front axle, which made the tractor look like it was perpetually surprised. This design choice was supposedly to help it clear tall vegetation, but in reality, it just made the machine look like it was trying to tiptoe through your garden. Speaking of unique design choices, the SJR featured what the company called a panoramic seating position. In reality, this meant the operator's seat was mounted so far back that driving the tractor felt like steering a boat from the stern. The steering wheel was connected to the front wheels through such a complex series of rods and joints that turning became an adventure. You'd turn the wheel and then wait a moment to see what direction the tractor decided to go. The company installed what they called a multi-purpose utility shelf behind the seat. This metal platform wasn't actually attached to anything substantial, so adding any weight to it would cause the entire tractor to perform an impressive wheelie. Owners quickly learned to avoid using it for anything heavier than a sandwich. Oh, and real quick, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. The Gresham Machine Company only produced about 100 estate tractors, and after seeing one, you'll understand why. This rare beast borrowed its power unit from Gravely, but that's where any semblance of conventional design ended. The estate tractor looked like someone had taken parts from 3 different machines, shuffled them around, and then assembled them in the dark. The most peculiar feature was its seating arrangement. Instead of placing the operator above or behind the engine, designers positioned the seat beside it. This side saddle arrangement meant operators had to twist their bodies 45 degrees just to face forward while driving. The company marketed this as revolutionary ergonomic design, though chiropractors might have disagreed. The estate's transmission system was equally unconventional. It used a series of belts and pulleys exposed on one side of the machine, creating what looked like a mobile Rube Goldberg device. When running, this mechanical display would mesmerize onlookers, and occasionally catch loose clothing, leading to some rather exciting, unplanned dismounts. The company claimed this exposed design made maintenance easier, though it mainly made it easier for grass, twigs, and unfortunate small animals to jam the works. The Choremaster stands as a prime example of trying to solve too many problems at once. This peculiar machine attempted to be both a lawn tractor and a personal transportation vehicle, resulting in what can only be described as the mullet of lawn equipment: business in front, party in back. The most distinctive feature was its convertible nature. With a series of presumably waterproof switches, the operator could transform the cutting deck into what the company optimistically called a utility platform. This platform was supposedly strong enough to carry groceries or small furniture, but owners quickly discovered that any load heavier than a bag of potatoes would cause the transformation mechanism to jam in mid-conversion. The Choremaster seating system featured a revolutionary quick-flip design that allowed the operator to face either direction. While this sounds practical, the seat's locking mechanism was about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. Many owners reported unexpected 180-degree rotations while mowing, leading to some rather interesting lawn patterns and probably a few spilled beverages. The Rideaway Senior looked like someone had raided a hot rod shop's spare parts bin and assembled them randomly. Its exposed engine and frame made it resemble a skeleton on wheels, with belts and pulleys visible from every angle. Perfect for catching loose clothing or spraying oil on your Sunday best. The backbone-style frame meant you could see straight through the machine, leading some owners to joke they had half a tractor. The attachment system was particularly amusing. It accepted so many different tools that owners often ended up with more attachments than actual tractor. It was like a Mr. Potato Head for adults, with people constantly swapping parts until they weren't sure what they'd created. Some configurations looked so bizarre that neighbors would stop and stare, trying to figure out if it was still technically a lawn tractor or it evolved into some new species of garden equipment. When SpeedX introduced their Model B in 1938, they decided that conventional steering wheels were too mainstream. Instead, they equipped their tractor with a marine-style tiller that made operating it feel like navigating a boat through grass. The learning curve was so steep that new owners often created abstract art on their lawns before mastering the counterintuitive controls. The air-cooled engine sat proudly exposed on one side, making the entire machine look desperately unbalanced. This asymmetrical design led to an interesting quirk. The tractor had a noticeable lean to one side. The company insisted this was intentional, claiming it improved stability on hillsides, though they never specified which direction the hill needed to face. Perhaps the most puzzling feature was its innovative control system. To move forward, operators had to pull the tiller back. To reverse, they pushed it forward. This backwards logic led to so many accidents that SpeedX started including practice cones with each purchase. The instruction manual helpfully suggested thinking like a sailor while operating the machine, though most users found thinking like a rational person challenging enough. General Electric's Electrac E20 was the lawn care equivalent of bringing a calculator to a stone tablet convention. Revolutionary, but hilariously premature. This electric pioneer carried enough batteries to power a small house, all crammed under a seat that looked suspiciously like a battery box with cushions. The weight of all these batteries made the E20 handle like a lead brick on wheels, creating impressively deep ruts in wet lawns. The most amusing feature was its runtime to charge ratio. After about an hour of mowing, owners faced an 8-hour charging period. Perfect for those who enjoyed mowing their lawns in installments over several days. GE's solution to this limitation was brilliantly impractical. They suggested buying multiple battery packs at roughly the cost of a small car each. Some owners joked that it would have been cheaper to replace their lawn with artificial turf. The E20's electric attachment system was equally entertaining. The snow thrower attachment was particularly memorable. It could launch snow an impressive 3 feet, assuming the snow was light and the wind was favorable. The electric tiller attachment performed with all the vigor of a tired hamster, often requiring several passes to disturb even loose soil. Despite these quirks, GE marketed it as the future of lawn care, though they failed to mention exactly how far into the future they meant.